Relatively young world of now. If we're being honest, Samsung is kind of dominating the space. Like, there's only a few foldable phones that real people are actually buying right now, and the Flip is apparently the most popular folding phone in the world. So the Flip 4 looks and feels very much just like a Flip 3. Like, there's really three things that are notably new about it, and they're all subtle. So one is a slight aesthetic trimming. So the bezels are just a little bit slimmer on the inside. The rails feel a little bit more trim and flat. Plus there's a new set of colors. Then two is it's a bit stronger and more durable. So that's always good to see in a folding phone. So the hinge is a little bit more trim and still feels very sturdy to open and close. And of course, stays half open for all the software features that take advantage of that. And then three is there's updated specs. And I'm thinking, this is just me using context clues, but I'm thinking that the most noticeable improvement year over year with this phone might actually be battery life. So this phone has the new Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, which has had excellent efficiency in some other phones I've tested so far. Plus, the battery also bumps up from 3,300 to 3,700 milliamp hours. That's a small thing, but it's a combo that could be great for battery life. Plus, it still fast charges up to 50% in 30 minutes. Not bad. Other than that though, the hardware you're looking at is very similar to the last Flip. And really there's one big new software feature, which is a bunch of new widgets and lock screen stuff on the outside cover screen. So you gotta love the lock screen customization and the functionality, potentially even matching your watch face to your phone. So if this was early days, maybe the first 1 to 2 generations of the phone, that's when you'd expect to see more tinkering with like the size of the outside screen and what it really should be capable of. Now that they've settled on this size though, they're really just adding stuff that you can do with it. So you can change quick settings, take a selfie, activate the flashlight, accept a phone call, start a new phone call, all types of stuff like that. This is all good quality of life stuff. Makes a lot of sense. And I think there's Flip fans out there, Austin Evans, who like the phone every time you want to use it or whatever else might have bothered you. None of that has changed either. So this new one probably won't change your mind. And neither will the new price, because it's the same as the old price, $999. So there are other phones that you could get for this price, other flagships, you know, gaming phones, slab style phones, but this one for $999 folds in half, and it's probably the most appealing folding phone to most people. But on the other end of the spectrum though, is the big unfolding productivity monster, the Fold 4. So this is actually the one I'm personally most interested in. And what if I told you that the exact same set of things is new on this phone too? Well, it's actually a little bit more than that same stuff, but the Fold 4 also has an improved, slightly slimmer hinge, which is one of the most important overall pieces of this phone, and it feels firm and confidence-inspiring and very satisfying to clap closed, which is great. It has a nice satin finish on the back with 3 colors, the gold, the black, and then this deep blue. And then it does in fact have a stronger Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the outside paired with those aluminum rails. They've also updated the specs, again, with the same new Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 inside, the highest end chip available, and it does have the same size 4,400 milliamp hour battery as last year. And then there's a new camera system on the back as well. So these folding phones have never quite had exactly the same set of cameras as the highest end flagships, you know, the Ultra phones, but they do typically get right up underneath as the next best thing. So this Fold here has a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 3x telephoto, which will let you get up to 30x space zoom. I will definitely be testing these new cameras in these flipping folding phones in the full review, just to see how good they are. But if I was guessing, it's on the inside screen, and that's the dock at the bottom. So you'll notice when you open an app, the entire dock shrinks down to the bottom into this sort of bar, kind of like a Windows taskbar. And from there, you can easily launch recent apps or hop back and forth between apps quickly, or even launch straight into multitasking with 2 or 3 apps on the screen at once. It's a small change, but I think it makes a big difference to keeping it easy and fluid to quickly multitask on a phone like this. I don't know about you, but when I open the phone up and it's got this huge 7-inch screen inside, I just want to use a lot of stuff and multitask. So you've got the button to open up any app all the way on the left. You've got the navigation buttons all the way to the right. I really do like this taskbar. And then just flipping through the device for a bit, the rest is very familiar to what we've seen. Just again, slightly refined. The outside cover screen is actually 3 millimeters wider, so it's a slightly different aspect ratio.